Hello, everyone. This is another episode of On the Narrow Path with Katrina. Wow, I'll tell you, just a couple days and things change really fast in life. I'm sure that you have plenty of things that happen in your own life. So it's pretty late tonight, I have to say. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm still trying to calm down. It's been very, very busy, but beneficial and good. The last time that I did a podcast, I showed you Zachary's birthday, and unfortunately that video had to be heavily edited. Still learning as we go along that some videos are not allowed. You got to blur faces, and there's certain things you can't show, and yeah, you learn on the job. That's life. It's learning on the job, right? So sorry about having to edit that and having that down. We'll get that back up the best we can. We have to really chop it. But the lessons are good in it, so we'll try to give you, the good portions of it and keep up as much as we can on it. So what's been happening? What things can I tell you? Just of great testimonies happening, just amazing testimonies. And most people hear this and get overwhelmed because it can be overwhelming if you don't, you want your faith tested, you have to be in situations where things look interesting. Well, do I have a story for you? Remember on Saturday, I was sharing with you how we were going to get our pictures taken on Monday. So we got our pictures taken on Monday. Caleb came back, my son that just graduated. I'll try to get the videos together to show you some of the graduation on that. I have a nice little something to say on that day as well with education and graduation, but still have to put that one together. Things haven't been coming together for me to finish that podcast yet. But on Monday we did go get those pictures, and I think I mentioned that in the last podcast. And the day after that, we found out. Well, remember, some of you may know and some of you may not know, depending on how many of these podcasts you've listened to. Zachary was in the hospital in February for a whole month, and he almost lost his life, and God spared his life. And it was, it was one day at a time, and we just believed for God. We're going to get all of those up. You can actually find it on Tim's YouTube channel, Tim McHyde on the YouTube channel. We're going to try to put it onto a playlist so that you can go back to them, because it was a really, really, that's how On the Narrow Path started, actually. It was pre-Narrow Path. And we gave updates every day of how Zachary was doing and little things that I learned along the way. And they're as upbeat as this, believe it or not. You'd be surprised. That's how you can face death and face difficult things in your life. If you take the opportunity to recognize and go slow and realize God's with you. He is, and you can trust him, even when things look really bad. Those are the type of podcasts you want to listen to. Then you can listen to that whole series. You can find some of them here and there, either on the website on escapeallthesethings.com. I think is the easiest way to find it, but I think you can poke around on YouTube. It's under what's called Zach in Hospital, ZACH in Hospital. You should be able to find it with Tim McHyde and find plenty of those. And I think you can watch them in order. I don't know. We'll have to clean that up. We're figuring out YouTube as we go along. We're just learning. So that created a domino effect that no one expected. This was the year that we had residency renewal, and that's why we needed the passport pictures taken. And that at the end of that, after the hospital, many months after the hospital, we found out, a couple months after the hospital, we found out that our insurance company decided to drop our son Zachary. They said, we're not going to pay for Zachary's bill at the hospital, and we're dropping you and giving you your full money back as if you never had insurance, because if we would have known that he was autistic, we would have never given him insurance. So you get to pay the hospital bill, and you are without insurance, and nobody will insure Zachary. So I had just some beautiful people that really, I mean, you have to really love people to do as much work as they did, and they really do. They have a heart for us, and man, they're just such amazing people, so amazing. I mean, just so full of love of God in everyone that's helped us. They talk to government officials, they talk to insurance agents, they talk to everybody to try to figure out how to handle our situation. Tim and I are, we've been really relaxed about it. God has done so many great things in our life and done so many amazing miracles that when things like this happen, you sit back and go, okay, what's the joke? I know God's got something good going on here. And you just keep going and put one foot in front of the other in faith. And sooner or later, it works itself out. Sometimes the stressful part isn't necessarily anymore, because it's happened so many times with us, different things. It's not so much the situation that's as stressful as sometimes the amount of work that is put on you, right? When you're tired, that's when you get weakest. So I have to admit, I'm really tired, and today was really, really difficult because I didn't sleep real well the night before, and I've been going all day today, and I'm still, I just couldn't calm down. So I been calming down, just relaxing with some friends here. We came back down here to Schweinfurt to close up the apartment because Caleb decided to move back home instead of stay here like he had thought he was going to in this town where he has graduated. So it's time to clean up the apartment. And anyway, with the insurance company saying they're not going to pay and making us pay the bill, and we have no insurance, it's illegal to keep us here in Germany without insurance. So between working with insurance agents, working with immigration to see what could be done with all of that, we found out of a fluke that although we were told that we had a type of residency that did not allow us to work here, we're missionaries here, of course, we're under missionary status. Actually, they looked at it and they said, yeah, that's what they were told, and it says here in their little computer system that that's what they're told. But actually, they have a type of residency that they can work. And we found out that children, including both of my children, obviously, are older now. But if there's special needs and you're taking care of them, they fall underneath the mother, not the father. What that means is that mom has to get a job in order to get insurance. And so we knew this very, very, the residency we expected to not have to deal with until the end of July. And this is, June, the end of June now, right? Yeah, right. Things are going so fast. It came up right away. And so with that happening and trying to figure things out, the Office for Immigration, talking to one of my girlfriends that works in missions now, she's a missionary, her and her husband, and a lady that works with Zachary, loves Zachary from the center that he goes to. They came together and found out, okay, so Katrina has to get a job, and she has to get it in 2 days. You heard me, 2 days. I heard this on Tuesday, and I need it today on Thursday to find a job. They expected me to find a job in that amount of time, and it could be in anything I wanted it to be, but I had to find a job. So it was a shock for all of us, because if I can get a job, then I can get insurance for the kids. And Tim also has to find work, but I can't get him under my insurance. So the kids could go under my insurance, and I can get a part-time job. So I said, as soon as I heard, so you mean I can get any job I want? She said, yep. I said, okay, well, I have been dancing with Caleb, with ballroom dancing for a year. I would like to work in a ballroom dancing school. That's what I want to do. That's what I told my girlfriend. She says, okay, well, if you can find one. Now, You have to understand, right? So if you can do anything you want to do, right? And you can pick the job and you can think of what that dream job would be, okay? That's what I went for, instead of saying, okay, well, maybe I'm in a foreign country, right? My German is not that good. I guarantee you. I've been working in English even here in Germany. It's not that good. So, usually a foreigner coming to a country gets humble jobs, right? That's right. Humble jobs. I want to work, I want to help in a dance studio, in a ballroom dance studio. And so I took out the Yellow Pages phone book, and we looked under Tanz, Tanz, for dance studios. Tanzschule, it's dance school. That's how it's said here. And he called the first one, and they said no. The second one he called said, come in tomorrow. Okay, this is on Tuesday. So, or I'm sorry, on the same day, Tuesday. Come in later this evening at 7 o'clock or later. So we go there and we talk to the lady, and she actually it's a family that runs it. It's a husband and a wife and a son that run it, and she sort of interviewed us, Caleb and I, and thought about it, and I said, okay, well, I need to talk to my son about it and my husband about it. So can you come back tomorrow? And she said, sure, okay. So so we went back, and then my girlfriend that's helping us with immigration, everything, she's bilingual in German and English, and she just has a gift, an absolute gift with these type of things when it comes to adjusting things with remembering things. She's very detail oriented, great gift, and her husband is super supportive and just full of love. They're just so full of love. She said, and the immigration officer told her that she had to come to the office too, because of course he doesn't speak English all that well, and our case is so weird, and they were upset in the immigration office with what the insurance company had done. They were really upset about it. They were scared for us, to have this situation happen. And of course, this would probably be many of your nightmares, right? To have insurance drop you and, then get the bill and then be in a foreign country and have a weird situation and not know how to handle it, and then have immigration renewal come up at the same time. Many people's nightmare. To us, it was like, God knows what he's doing. I don't know. It's going to be even better somehow. I don't know. Well, the next day there was supposed to be a dance party, but there was the soccer matches, the international soccer matches that come every 4 years. Everybody that knows about soccer and sports will know what I'm talking about. Everybody that's into soccer, the Europeans, in Europe and Central America and South America, soccer is really important. So yesterday was the game, so they didn't know if the party would happen or not, and it definitely didn't happen. Everybody was in front of restaurants with huge screens watching the game, and Germany lost in the pre-games. And that's never ever happened, so everybody was really not happy. But this was happening while we went back to the dance school, and but we went back to the dance school with my two friends that are missionaries, and talked to them more and talked to the lady more. And she's putting me on a 3-week trial period because actually I do speak English, and she wants to attract English speakers. So I'm going to be able to help out, and I'm going to go around the first 3 weeks and help out in schools, because they're at the end of the year between when exams are taken, and then there's after the exams are taken, there's a few weeks before they're out of school, and that time is just sort of free time, but legally the kids have to be in school for so long. So they hire dance schools and different people to do educational stuff and fun stuff till the end of school. and they actually could use some help during that time. So I'm going to be on a 3-week trial period, but I have a paper signed that I have a job in trial, and that's normal with any type of work here in Germany and around the world. You have a few months or a few weeks where we get to try each other out. So I'm going to be doing that. And so they said, okay. They gave us the paper, and I had the paper for today, Thursday. So I got a job in 2 days doing something I love to do, and it will get me insurance. Is that just cool? That is so God. I mean, in a foreign country, and of course I have to learn German with time, but this is pretty awesome. It's so cool. And then Caleb decided to move back home. He had other plans to do other things, and things weren't quite working out. So he said, I want to go back. So Caleb gets to, although he's not going to work there, he has to find other job. So the immigration also said that he had to get a job now that he graduated from, literally just graduated on Friday. And he's finding out just yesterday. It was just yesterday he found out, and today it was verified that now that he's graduated, just as of Friday, that because he's graduated, he's now seen as separate, and he now has to work. So he has to find a job like by within a couple weeks. It's crazy. Things are going so fast. It's amazing. It's so crazy. But with help and with just breathing and going slow, all the things that I share with you, you can learn faith. And I have to admit, my brain has been mush. It's more the, just so much, so fast, having to do so much that your body sometimes and your brain just can't keep up with the amount of stuff going on, even though you're breathing and everything else. I didn't sleep real well, and that was just out of excitement of having, received all this information, have to try to juggle making sure that I have everything for immigration, trying to find a job, trying to, receive company into the house, and still take care of Zachary and the other things, food and everything else. Sometimes the amount of work, even when you go slow, is still a lot. And so your body and mind sometimes react to that. And that's just going to happen. You just go, okay, well, we'll get through this too. So more than anything, it's just a matter of the amount of work. But I've kept my cool. I've been a little blitzed, and people ask me questions like, I don't know. I can't even remember. There's just too much happening. But it's all working out. So what does this mean to you? Hey, these are the times when you are deciding whether God truly is there for you or not. And that when things look interesting, it's opportunity and possibility for God to show up and make it even better. And sometimes he doesn't fix it right away or fix it the way you think he's going to, but you can trust him. You will learn what you need to learn with time. And you don't have to do it perfect. I mean, I had some imperfect moments during the times, some faith issues. My girlfriend shared with me an area. And by the way, we all have it. You hear my podcasts on many things and everybody's going, I can't live up to that. Well, I don't even live up to that. Why? Because we're all practicing faith, right? From faith to faith, glory to glory. It means that we're all growing. Just because you know some of these things doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're those things right away. It doesn't matter if you know them. It's something that we're children, we're growing in. So I had a double-minded thing going on in myself, which I know, I've got it too. Can I trust God that much or believe in God that much? And some things, you want to stay in control of. Especially wanting to, situations you want to be different, and you want to control them, or keep things from happening your way. There's certain foods, like for instance, that I don't like to give Zachary. I don't think is real healthy for him, and Tim, believes that those foods are just fine for Zachary. And so, who's right, who's wrong? Faith is right. God is right. Right? We can't control one another. And so if he thinks it's right, if Tim thinks it's right, and that's the foods he wants to give him, I either believe what scripture says, that we would even eat poison and it wouldn't affect us, right? That's the truth. That is the truth. And I can live by that and live by faith and know that Father can take care of Zachary better than me. And I don't have to control Tim in order to do that. That God has a control over the whole situation myself. That's the highest truth. And of course, mom's heartstrings. For you moms, you know what I mean? Yeah. So learning how to not control and have that part that's like, but if you just do it this way, then I think it would be better. No, I'm sure none of you can relate to that. We all struggle with those things. That's, in a sense, double-mindedness, right? So it's like learning how to breathe and knowing it's there and knowing God is giving you an opportunity to believe that He's that big, that we can all practice on one another. And whether Tim is right or I'm right, the truth is God is right. And He makes all things work together for good to those who love Him. And so whatever's happening, He's got Zachary. He adores Zachary. And what he eats is not it. What I have faith for is it. Because when we have faith, then we bless. Oh, and I have another great testimony. So the past few weeks, this is awesome. There's so many things I want to tell you. The past few weeks, well, actually few months, Tim and Zachary have had warts on their hands, and they've been, well, actually it's been for a couple years, and we've been trying to get rid of them and wanting to get a dermatologist to burn them off. We've been using stuff in the pharmacy, and they would keep burning them off, but they kind of grow back and everything else. So we started cursing them. I started cursing them in prayer, saying, I tell these warts, I curse these warts to wither and die without any effect and fall off on both Tim and Zachary, and for them to never come back again. And I've been doing that regularly. On top of Tim's been doing a treatment, although we haven't been doing it on Zachary. And just today, I was cutting his fingernails for immigration and checking on it. Literally, Zachary's warts were blackened. Some of them were completely gone, and other ones were blackened and were literally falling off. When I cut his fingernails, I saw it, and some of the other ones just were totally gone. Totally gone. They're totally dying. Okay? This is so cool. And Tim, he actually did treat himself, but with the freezing, the freezing pump thing that you can get at the pharmacy. He did that, but he was doing that over and over again, and they were growing back. And this time, they're not growing back. So when we have just practice. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is nothing. But the best thing that happens is that you can continue to practice your faith and believe that God is that good, and that, you can have whatever you ask for. He says you don't have because you don't ask. So what do you have to lose by asking, right? Well, we lost what we needed to lose. We lost warts. So now I'm going to bless all of you. So any of you have warts anywhere on your body? Okay. So I'm going to share. If we can get this far, then I'm going to share with all you. Right now, I say to all the warts on those bodies for that virus to completely die out of your bodies, wither and die, and never come back. You are a child of the Most High that was paid for by the blood and stripes of the Lamb, and by His stripes you were healed, perfectly healed. So warts are gone, and any other illnesses have to flee because the stripes and the blood of Christ covered it all. So there you go, is a blessing for you. I hope this encourages you. Whatever crazy things are happening in your life, this is the attitude to have. Okay, I can't wait to see what God's going to do with this one. Something even better is going to happen. And that's what I told my son Caleb. I told him, I'm really sad that we're leaving Schweinfurt and we're not going to be dancing, ballroom dancing anymore. I told him this before I knew any of this stuff. On the way back up, bringing him on last Saturday, before I knew about needing a job or anything else. I said, I'm really sad that we're going to not have ballroom dancing anymore, and you're going to have to work, and, I'm coming back home, and we're not near the dance school any longer, and I'm really sad that's going to happen. And I said, but, I just believe that God is going to give us something even better. I can't even imagine. It must be, because when one thing ends, he brings something else. I get paid to dance now. I get paid to dance. What? Yeah, part-time job. So I can still do podcasts, still take care of the family, and I can get an insurance, and we can stay in Germany. What? What? Right? So things can happen in your life too, if you believe. It's whatever you want to believe. Whatever looks the most terrible has the best possibility of becoming a testimony of God's goodness, because he owns it all and he can do what he wants. And when you believe in that, he shows up. And it might be a little rocky, it might be a little hard, but it's way worth believing this way. Just practice. And it takes a while. It takes a long time to get better and better at it, but it's a journey. Even for us, we don't always get it right. I'm telling you, we don't always get it right. I mean, when you really get to know us, you can ask our closest friends, wow, you guys struggle too. You're normal. Yeah, we do. You just get better and better at it with time, but you're never perfect at it. You're still growing, and you can see the flaws in all of us. We're being perfected, right? And so just keep going. It's okay. God's with you. He's a great teacher. He'll do a little bit at a time as you can handle it. We're all in the same boat. We all need the blood of Christ, and we all need the master teacher, which is God, Jehovah. We're good. Just keep on going. You can do it. All right. I hope this has encouraged you. So if you want to, you can subscribe to Tim McKide's channel here and get updates of when I have new podcasts. I'm trying to do them more regularly for all of you, because I can tell that a lot of you just love these, and it really encourages you in your own walk, which is what I hope for. Or you can go to escapeallthesethings.com, and we're trying to post better up there, these podcasts, but you can find at least the playlist there. And Tim, I think, is going to, on the side, put them up as I put them there, put them up on the site on escapeallthesethings.com, so that you can find the latest ones easy. So we're starting to try to get together and make it easier for you guys. But God bless, and I'll try another podcast tomorrow for you and tell you the other wacky, wild stories that are happening in the McKide family. All right. God bless.